Welcome to a new episode of The Week That Was, TIOL's News Roundup. We have filtered for you a lot of news that unfolded during this week. But let's start today on a light note. Laughter is serious business. While anyone may appreciate a good joke, being able to laugh at oneself is a distinct trait and possibly the foundation for a good sense of humor. Is the good humor of Sardar Jokes under threat? Well, the Supreme Court of India is all set to find out. The Apex Court has admitted a public interest petition from a Sikh lawyer, Ms. Harvinder Chaudhary, who seeks a ban on websites spreading jokes on Sardars, as these jokes tend to portray Sardars as people of low intellect. According to Ms. Chaudhary, the jokes are insulting to the community and her children did not want to have Singh and Kaur as surnames to avoid the humiliation and embarrassment. While the judges felt that the Sikh community, known for its upbeat and cheerful sense of humor, might themselves object to the writ petition, they offered to send the petition to a Sikh judge of the Supreme Court to hear the matter. The judges also sought the views of another senior counsel present in the court, who opined that Poland would be poorer without Polish jokes, as would India without Sardar jokes. The case was adjourned for a hearing in a month. Justice Tirath Singh Thakur, one of the judges who heard the lady lawyer rather patiently on banning jokes on Sardar Jokes, shall take over as the 43rd Chief Justice of India from December 2nd. But talk about timing. As the government and judiciary lug it out over the method of appointment of judges of the High Courts and the Apex Court, Justice Tirath Singh Thakur shall oversee the Constitution Bench, which is currently hearing suggestions on making the collegium system for appointment of judges more transparent. He became a Supreme Court judge in November 2009 and takes over from Justice H.L. Dattu. Justice Thakur is the first judge in 3 decades who actually switched on the sound system recently so that the public and media can easily hear the judges. He has also heard high-profile cases of the Board of Control for Cricket in India and the release of the Sahara boss, Mr. Subrata Rai, from Tihar jail in Delhi. He deals mostly with criminal matters and is known to favor justice over legal technicalities. Justice Thakur would also need to be quick, as speedy disposal of cases is expected to be his top priority, and his term is scheduled to end in January 2017. In a statement, his tough stand against indiscipline inside courts and tolerance of anyone holding the institution of judiciary to ransom is clear. Let's go to Manisha for news about easy exit option for bad business.
India finally goes for easy exit option for a bad business. After black money, can bankruptcy be far behind? As promised by the Economic Affairs Secretary, Mr. Shakti Kanta Das, last month, the government is all set to table an insolvency bankruptcy bill in Parliament during the winter session. Some of the highlights of the draft bill are: an insolvency regulator to exercise regulatory oversight over insolvency professionals, agencies and informational utilities. Professional insolvency agencies to develop the standards and the code of ethics besides exercising a disciplinary role over errant members. The draft bill also proposes to revamp the revival regime applicable to financially distressed companies and limited liability entities. In the Fresh Start process, indigent individuals with income and assets lesser than specified thresholds will be eligible to apply for a discharge from their qualifying debts. The resolution professional will investigate and prepare a final list of all qualifying debts within 180 days from the date of application. Let's wait and watch how much of this bill makes it as an act without amendments. Let's go to Asha for launch of gold schemes.
It is a misnomer, an oxymoron indeed, to call India a poor country. Just the value of the 20,000 tons of gold owned by Indian households can buy some of the richest nations in the world. But most of this gold sits idle in bank lockers. To unlock the value of gold and put it to productive use, besides reduce India's dependence on gold imports, the Prime Minister officially launched the 3 gold schemes this week. Investment in India gold coins bearing the Ashok Chakra could take away the dependence on foreign minted gold bullion or coins, besides being a matter of pride for an Indian. The Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme, which addresses the need for pure investment without the handling or storage costs of physical gold, could actually reduce India's current account deficit. The Prime Minister indicated that the family goldsmith could well become one of the biggest agents of the gold schemes as he launched the website on these schemes. Let's go to Manisha for the strict leave policy for bureaucrats.
Some bureaucrats officially on leave but working for private multinational companies overseas are known to have returned to India when not happy with the MNC job. The Modi government, surprised to see bureaucrats not reporting back to India after completion of their foreign postings, is all set to rein in employees on unauthorized extended leaves overseas. Under the new rules, officers of the IAS, IPS or even the Indian Forest Service may lose their job if they remain absent after the sanctioned period of leave, without authorization for more than 30 days. Over to Asha for New Factories Bill.
The government is all set to introduce a brave New Factories Act to make India's complicated legal procedures for industry simpler and attract entrepreneurs into its Make in India initiative to impact GDP. The New Factories Bill essentially seeks to narrow down the definition and scope of a manufacturing activity by separating it from the activity of packaging. For example, under the new bill, milk packed into a laminated card paper pack would be a different product from loose milk, as it can be stored for a longer period. The new definition of manufacturing as a process or activity that alters the character of the original material by making a value addition shall replace the one in the 1948 Factories Law. Let's now move to Manisha for a further simplification of legal procedures.
State governments have also joined the centre in its drive for simplification of procedures for citizens. One of these is the necessity of producing affidavits and getting documents attested by a notary. Delhi has joined 10 state governments including Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and West Bengal to allow self-certification of documents by citizens from December 1, 2015. There would be no need to get the documents attested by a notary or a gazetted officer. Self-certification is enough. The state government has also abolished 200 types of affidavits to prevent unnecessary harassment and financial burden. Only about 40 affidavits have been retained, as these are mandatory under central and Delhi state laws. Does this mean notaries will go out of business? Identity theft is a serious form of thievery in modern times. The Income Tax Department has issued an advisory warning taxpayers not to share their personal and financial details such as bank account numbers or one-time passwords over email or phone and register a complaint if asked to do so. The department has clarified that it never seeks any such information from taxpayers through email or phone. Now some news about financial secrecy.
As if Switzerland alone was not enough to generate fascinating tales of a tax haven, we have one more surprising entry to this list. As per the Tax Justice Network's latest report, the United States of America has graduated to be a tax haven. It may sound absurd. Can we believe that an economy that flexed its Schwarzenegger-like muscles to cow the Swiss banks into submission has now become stingy with data sharing? The USA, which made foreign governments and banks hand over their secret bank data about depositors under its BrahMos-like FATCA, is now reluctant to reciprocate? As per the Tax Justice Network report, Switzerland, as expected, topped the Financial Secrecy Index. But the talk of the town is the United States of America, which has jumped from the 6th to 3rd place after Hong Kong on the Secrecy Index. The report claims that the USA has declined to join the OECD-driven Automatic Information Exchange Agreement for sharing of bank data. The report finds fault with the IRS for being a damp squib for OECD-led initiatives for transparency and data sharing. The report also notes that while USA has been a pioneer in defending itself against foreign secrecy jurisdictions by aggressively taking on Swiss bankers and setting up the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act or FATCA, it provides little information in return to other countries, making it a formidable, harmful and irresponsible secrecy jurisdiction at both the federal and state levels. This may come as a shocker for India, which has been seriously banking on FATCA data to bring foreign bank account holders to book. It remains to be seen how useful is the data which the CBDT has received under FATCA. Over to Manisha now for news about identity theft.
It is a fact that over the last 15 years, nearly 35% of the rupees 4 lakh crore foreign investment into India has been routed through Mauritius. Smells fishy? Probably. Especially considering that a number of global corporates have used this island nation to route their investments into India to benefit from the double taxation avoidance agreement between India and Mauritius in force since 1983. But India's overtures to negotiate its 30-year-old tax treaty with Mauritius to check round-tripping of domestic investments and other treaty abuses has only been met by staunch resistance. The visiting Mauritian Prime Minister, Mr. Anirudh Jugnauth, categorically announced in Delhi this week that Mauritius has been providing all information. There is no money laundering. The black money numbers are being exaggerated and there won't be any revisions of the main provisions of the Double Taxation Avoidance Treaty. Let's go to Asha for pending tax disputes.
To boost India's image as an investment destination, the Finance Ministry is keenly working on a strategy to deal with the huge problem of pending tax disputes. Tax demands of more than rupees 4 lakh crore are under dispute in litigation pending in various courts and appellate authorities. Especially keen to undo the damage done by the previous government by taxing indirect transfers of Indian assets with retrospective effect, the government is preparing a roadmap to deal with the existing tax litigation. For mega legacy cases like Vodafone and Kane Energy PLC, the government is keen to explore the option of some sort of settlement rather than arbitration. Let's now move to Manisha for new rules for advocate verification.
The Supreme Court of India has permitted the Bar Council of India and the State Bar Councils to implement the new rules for verification of advocates, which had come under flack for introducing extra checks on lawyers to practice in court. The issue of validity of the Certification of Practice Rules 2015 is pending before several high courts in the land, which have stayed the operation of these rules, introduced to restore the sanctity and standards of the legal profession. The Apex Court hearing the transfer petition, however, cautioned that the Bar Council must not be prejudiced against lawyers not practicing in courts, and verification rules need not stress on the number of appearances recorded by a lawyer in court. Over to Asha for trade ties with Africa.
Following the conclusion of the African Summit in Delhi last week, the Commerce Ministry has drawn up a strategy to boost India's falling exports by focusing on the African continent and India's neighboring countries. The government is pushing for trade ties with Africa, which could provide a large market for Indian goods. India has already offered a $10 billion credit line to Africa. To make the most of this credit, the department has extended the benefits under the Merchandise Exports from India scheme to many goods headed for Africa. The industry has welcomed the inclusion of exports of textiles and ready-made garments, including cotton fabrics and made-ups to African countries under the MEI scheme. This is expected to boost exports of value-added and labor-intensive products such as cotton-dyed and printed fabrics and made-ups to the African continent. Over to Manisha for news on India as a nation brand.
Just like a company works on its brand, a country needs to work on its national image. Brand Finance, a London-based independent brand valuation and strategy consultancy, believes that the nation's brand value, built through marketing and performance, impacts the economy in the global marketplace as well as the brand based in the country. In its 2015 study of most valued nation brand, India stands 7th among the 100 countries studied, showing the highest surge of 32% in its brand value, which moved up to $2.1 billion. US remains on top with the valuation of $19.7 billion, followed by China in the second position and Germany in the third place. UK occupies 4th position, followed by Japan and France in the 6th position. Now some news about entertainment tax defaults.
Will Delhi's Ferozshah Kotla grounds hold the 4th cricket test match between India and South Africa? Maybe, if the Delhi Chief Minister intervenes. The Delhi and District Cricket Association, or DDCA, severely cash-strapped and under investigation by the CBI for severe financial irregularities, wrestling with charges of selling undervalued ticket prices for the best stands, has now been slapped on with an assessment order for payment of entertainment tax dues of around Rs 25 crore. For DDCA to be able to host the match, the entertainment tax will need to be deposited immediately, failing which necessary action will be initiated under the Delhi Entertainments and Betting Tax Act of 1996. However, the DDCA is only able and willing to pay around Rs 1 crore as advance entertainment tax. And officials of the Excise Entertainment and Luxury Tax Office, which also comes under the Delhi government, may not be in a mood to relent and give the green signal to hold the match. Fill it, shut it, forget it. The man who projected motorcycles as a more fuel-efficient option in India, a scooter market, is no more. The chairman emeritus of Hero Motorcorp and the father of the Indian two-wheeler industry, Mr. Brij Mohan Lal Munjal, passed away this week at the age of 92. Known for his Midas touch, Munjal started small, from making bicycle components to making Hero Cycles the world's largest manufacturer of bicycles. He then went on to make mopeds under the Majestic brand, which enjoyed 1/3 of the domestic moped market before venturing into motorcycles and making history. In 2005, he received a Padma Bhushan for his contribution to the industry and philanthropy. On this note, we conclude this bulletin of the week that was, TIOL's News Roundup. You may write to us your comments, counsel, criticism, and even news at editor@tiol.in. You may subscribe to TIOL Tube to remain updated on our new posts. Have a cheerful weekend.